I got to say this too, and you've used that once before, I'm going to use this again. This guy's got a tough job. Two people in the world I think have tough jobs. My wife and Don, because they have to make me look good. And that's really hard to do sometimes. So there's not a lot to work with here. So, and again, the way we played, it had been a lot to work with. So I appreciate the efforts. Again, excited to be up here in Indianapolis, our backyard, our largest alumni group. Great to be with you guys. It's, again, third year up here, second time in this venue. A lot of great things going on in the athletic department. I know that's been shared, and a lot of exciting times. I think if you get a chance today, and let's don't hold up the lines, but you ought to get a picture with some of those championship trophies, because those just don't happen all the time. In our tradition of all those sports, winning championships and getting a trophy, and some of our programs are aspiring to some greatness that it just doesn't happen. It's good players, good coaching, all that. There's a lot of luck and the way things kind of fall in place to get those trophies. So don't take those things for granted. We got a lot of those around here that have been collecting dust, but a great Christmas item, card, your Christmas card, you ought to go out there and get your picture around one of those championship trophies today. Feel free to get one around my striped helmet as well if you want to do that, okay? All right. We're starting year 3. Let's talk about what's happened. You know where we were when we left the field. Our kids, when we finish the season, really good teams go to bowl games. And those are nice trips, but what those are great practice opportunities to continue to improve and develop your team. When you're not a bowl team, you don't get that opportunity. So it actually makes the job harder. So we actually started, and for 2 weeks continued with what we call player practices. By rule, we couldn't go out there, but our quarterbacks were out there for our team every day I think it was 3 days a week for an hour and 15, hour and a half player practice. Our guys were in the weight room, and we gave our guys a target weight to come back with your body weight bench press when we started the 1st of January. We didn't need a 5 or 6 week vacation when all the other great Big Ten teams were in bowl games practicing their young players and getting better. We had a bunch of young players, a lot of guys coming back, needed to get better. That being said, when we came back, we went into our winter session, our third one, best one we've had yet. There's Nick Freeland over there. What's up, Nick? Good to see you. All right, one of our former players right there, a kicker from last year. We had the best winter session that we've had in 3 years. And winter's pretty tough. I mean, you're getting up, we're getting our guys up every day. We don't take a class till lunchtime. So we got our guys up at 6 every morning. They're walking, right, Nick? What's the average walk-in time to the building? It's about 6 a.m. And we get those guys going. There's not a lot of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock classes being taught right now on college campuses. So we're working our athletes out, and we're practicing. 8:30 on the field, getting off the field at 10:30, 11 o'clock. So again, I thought we had a really good winter. I say that because I look at the strength gauge we made, our bench press, our body weights, the development of our players. We go into spring, Don used this big word, demonstrable. I can't even say it, demonstrable. I don't know if it was that, but I know in 15 days I didn't want that practice over again, where I thought we went through the motions. And that's pretty hard. A lot of our coaches will tell you in the off season, when you're practicing and there's not a game, it can get very stale. It can get stagnant, and you can start punching a clock and just going through the motion. Our guys had a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of physicalness in what we did. We tried to target a lot of things to, one, help our defense. We spent about 30 minutes a day lining up in I formation and old school football that a lot of Big Ten teams still play, to play better run defense and develop our defensive players. And it was pretty physical, and it was very combative, and it was pretty tough. And those guys were pretty good. So I was very appreciative of our spring. We capped it with the spring game. How many of you guys came down to the spring game? Just 1, 2, 3. Come on, we had a huge crowd down here, and I think we're going to have plans to make it bigger and better as we go, because that needs to be a big day on campus, just not for football, but for other sports, and get guys back down in the spring. I rode in the park like that baseball, and hell, to me it was another example, another time for everybody to go tailgate. It looked like everybody wanted to have a tailgate all of a sudden Sunday afternoon up in our football park, and everybody was tailgating. We got to get that going in spring. If you saw our spring game, you saw a pretty good football team. Now we're going to go through summer. Summer's voluntary. Our kids don't have to be there. We have 85 guys on scholarship. I think we're at 82 or 3, on scholarship. We're allowed 105 guys for preseason practice. That sounds like a lot. We've got 130 guys on campus today working out. Okay, so we got more guys working out than we can bring to practice the first day of practice. We've done a great job enhancing our walk-on. We got 50 brand new walk-ons coming in this year and some outstanding walk-ons already contributing coming back. We've got 19 starters coming back, 19 starters that need to get better when you're a 4-8 team. We got a good recruiting class on paper. And that recruiting class on paper looks really good. But this recruiting class on paper will go against a more mature football team than those other recruiting classes have went against. So they're not going to play by default and walk out there like some freshmen have done year one or year two. They're going to have to earn their way to get out there. So it's setting up where there's a lot of good vibe, but we need to have a great summer because summer is voluntary in my world. Other coaches get 2 hours a week and things they can do. We don't get anything. All right, our strength coaches are allowed to work them out, but no football coach can do anything. So we're kind of off limits. We'll get them August the 1st when we start our 29 practices leading into the Indiana State game. But that being said, summer's voluntary. I tell our team all the time, so is winning and losing. There's enough good things in our institution now. We need to start having a winning football team. You guys keep telling me you hope we go to a bowl game. One, I don't like the hope word. My dad had an analogy of hoping in one hand and something in the other. As a little kid, he taught me about. So I'm not much on hoping. But also, you can be a bad team and make it to a bowl game. There's some bad bowl games. There's actually some pretty doggone good ones, too. So we're aspiring to be a little bit more than let's just go to a bowl. Now, I know it's been a while since we've been there, and we're not going to reach for the stars and fall on our face and all that, but we're aspiring to do something pretty good. And I think, like Don said, we got a chance this year to make some good strides. Let's talk about the schedule. We got 8 home games. Now, we had 6 my first year, 6 the second year. That doesn't happen. We're going back to 6 next year in 14. We might even have 6 again in 15, maybe it looks like. You got 8 home games, so now fans say it's too many to come to. Listen, and you guys, last year, Fred, we went up in ticket sales, the largest of anyone in the Big Ten, one of the largest increases in the country. Sold more tickets than we've done since '91. But that being said, selling tickets is one thing. You need to come in the building and make a difference, okay? And you can laugh about that, but you guys went in that basketball arena my first year, and you helped those guys make a difference. When it's third down, when you got the lead at Michigan State and you pop out in your tailgate, you need to come back in because we need you to make that noise so we can get them to flinch on third down and get a stop and not lose homecoming 31-27. Those 27 points we scored on Michigan State was the most they gave up to anybody all year. We did that in a half and didn't even scratch the second half. You ought to watch the Ball State game and the Ohio State game as we're coming back at the end, and you look at the crowd shot. Where's everybody at? So we're going to sell some tickets this year, right? But I need you in the stands to help us make a difference. And you can laugh about it all you want, but we're not going to make a difference as a team, as a coach. We got to collectively do it. We got to do it together. And if you guys truly want to be good at football, my challenge to you is if you can't come, have somebody use your seats. And when you come down, that first game we're playing Indiana State, 7 o'clock. Now it's a Thursday night game. We're doing it Thursday nights, Labor Day weekend. And I fought for that because the next week we play Navy. Navy runs the option. It's a little awkward to get ready for, and I want 2 more days for prep for Navy. Now, it's also Labor Day weekend, so you can get to the lake and do all the other fun things, blah, 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 yeah. But Fred will tell you, I wanted those 2 days of practice. That's what I wanted. I wanted those 2 days to get ready for those midshipmen because they got us by a point last year. So Indiana State in the opener. Now, last year in the opener, we were a little bland. I tried to not show some things, and it looked a little close. We'll be a different team in this one. I'm not putting Indiana State down. They're going through a coaching change and whatnot, but we're going to come out, and we're not a good enough program to not start fast and get those 4. To give you the year we need to start fast. I need you to get in the stands and help me get it done. We got Indiana State Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Navy the next week at 6 o'clock. That gives you ample time to tailgate, get in the game, and get back home. All right? So get down, let's go. Come make a difference. The third week, we're playing Bowling Green. That's yet to be announced. Bowling Green is an 8-4 team last year, lost a bowl game. Navy was an 8-4 team last year, lost a bowl game. It's a couple quality teams. Week 4, September 22, I believe it is, Missouri coming in. That's going to be an 8 o'clock game. It's a later game. Big Ten Network's got that one late. So first 4, all 4 non-conference games at home. Second time in the school history, we've had 8 home games. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, they got 8 home games every year. The The reason, listen, I mean, everybody, the field's the same, the goalpost is the same, everybody's got lockers, everybody's got a locker room. We got the same number. It's home field advantage because of you. So you need to come help me make a difference, because this team will, if you paid any attention last year, they will fight. We need to play some better defense. And we're committed to doing it, and we're going to do it, guaranteed. But we're going to be really good on offense, not pretty good. You've seen okay fair, in my opinion. We're going to be really strong on offense. We're not going to be a stat team. We're going to do what it takes to win. We got a dynamic kicker. We got our punter back. We got our returners back. We lose our center and 2 D tackles that you saw. And we're adding 24 new signees. And 51, where's Coach Deal? Mark walkout? I think it's 51 new walk-ons. So you basically got the same new team with about 70 bodies going to walk in. Let's get this thing rolling. Now after that, we have 4 remaining games. We have 2 open dates this year. We got our 4 games. We're dead the last week in September. We come back for Penn State at home. That's 5 straight at home. Played Penn State now, it's either 16 or 17 times. We haven't beaten them. We need to. Good coach, good tradition. We need to get those guys at our house. Come be there for us. We'll have them there at home for 2 years in a row too. So let's get used to them coming. Let's get used to beating them. Let's do it back-to-back years. All right? After that, we go to Michigan State. After that, we go to Michigan, 2 on the road. Come back with an open date. Then we finish with 5 home games. Minnesota for homecoming, Illinois for homecoming, up to Wisconsin, over to Ohio State, finish up with Purdue for the bucket game. We need to get the bucket back for you. So next year, instead of just these championship trophies, you can get your Christmas picture with our bucket back for you. Okay? All right? Again, we did a few things with the helmets. Just real quick, well, we worked on this for months. And it's not right or exact, but we try to stay with some, we try to pull out the respect of our state, being the state institution, even though there are other state schools. We are Indiana University, representing our state, representing some great eras. We've got the block guy, Coach Pont's team wore that, several other coaching teams did, as did AT when he played. We went with the non-stripe helmet that Anthony's teams wore. Coach Pont's team had stripes. We looked at that, we went non-stripe. We took our white helmet, just we're going to paint it to put a little bit more splash in it, give it a little bit more color. We looked at red and white. We decided on white and red and talked with Mr. Glass and our other guys. We got the regular IU on that. We're looking at maybe doing the numbers if we do that, because we wore white helmets with numbers in the 50s to kind of throw back to that thing right there. So we can pay some respect to some former great teams, great eras, great players. We can also honor our state. And at the end, everybody's into cool. When we looked at the red with the red chrome looks like our red helmet. We already got that, our crimson helmet. You know, we asked these guys to come up. We were known because of basketball, but swimming, a lot of sports have taken off with the candy stripe look. Look pretty good, and I've got to guarantee we will tackle better, score more, and win every game. If not, the helmets are free. We ship them back. Okay? So it's a guarantee. They've guaranteed us those helmets will make a difference. Those helmets won't. Those helmets also came out right now for one reason: recruiting. Camp starts next week. A bunch of kids coming on campus. Our kids are down there working out, but recruiting's full throttle right now for next year. Good class coming back, a good team coming back, a good class in place, but a lot of work to do. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be easy to be what we can be, but we can't do it. We'll do it a lot quicker with you. So again, sell some energy, sell some vibe. It makes me mad when I walk in the bookstore and I see the shirt that says, "We never lost a tailgate." I've actually bought a bunch of them, took them home, and I start my fires with those. And you can laugh, but I think it's embarrassing to me that you guys like the fact that we don't lose tailgates. Because I don't like the fact that when we lose that football game, we walk out of there in a different environment than when we lose other sports. There's other sports we lose, there's a different feel. Okay? There's great people at this school. There's a huge commitment at this school for our program to do well. Take some pride in what we're about. Our guys are working hard. If you pay attention to one thing, there's a group of guys right now buying in, locked in, they're going to play their butts off this year. Guaranteed. Now this schedule ain't going to be easy. All right? Everybody talks about going Big Ten East. Those guys have always been there. I think it's going to help our recruiting. I think it's going to help our fan base. I think it's going to help the home teams. I love 14 going into the Big East, but right now what we got to do is a chance to make 13 take the next step. And if you guys will get on board, it would be one heck of a lot easier. A lot of great things going on. It's an honor to be here. Come down this year because you will not be disappointed. Thanks for being here.